What is going on, people? I decided to come again today for a second vlog. I enjoyed that. I got some stuff off my chest and was able to speak on topics that I wanted to, and hopefully everyone enjoyed it, and some people gave their opinions and such. Well, this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I got three topics I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about three different topics, all in different realms. I guess you can call it. Actually, the first and second topic that I have kind of can go into each other, I guess. The first topic I do have to talk about is everyone's love for money nowadays, and let me get into it. Let me talk about it a little bit. Just explain myself. Nowadays, I understand money is very important. It definitely is. You can't live without money. So it's one of those things where you definitely need. But honestly, nowadays, especially with the media and society, it's makes it worse on people. Just because nowadays, with money, you can get away with anything, and it's very annoying. If you have money, you can pretty much get away with anything you want. And when I say anything, I mean anything. All these stars and everything, they get in trouble with the law, and they're out. They can buy their way out of things when people in the middle class, like everyone else in this country, besides the top 1% of people, have the problem where if they do something bad, they can't pay for lawyers, they can't do this, and they end up going to jail for years and years when all these other people, all these stars, all these celebrities, all these people with money can do whatever they want to, get away with it, and they just I don't know. It's very annoying. I remember reading a few months ago where this rich kid got away with killing four people that were helping someone else change a tire, and hurt some of the other kids that were in his car. First of all, he gets caught with underage drink. Oh, no, even before that, he gets caught with stealing beer from a store. Meanwhile, you're rich and you're stealing beer. Second of all, he's 16 or 17, so that's under the legal drinking age. He driving under the influence. He's speeding. He ends up killing four people and injuring whoever else was in the car because he had people in the cab. And one kid ends up getting paralyzed. And in the courtroom, he goes to the hearing and everything. And the judge says that because he's rich, because he does not know the difference between right and wrong, he gets off with probation, and he has to go to counseling for a year at this nice established therapy meeting room or whatever. That you saw the pictures, and it looks like a country club. He gets off with killing four people and all this because he said affluenza, I think they used it, where the rich just don't know, especially little kids that grow up in rich families, they don't know the difference between right and wrong. I think that is one of the biggest bullcrap things I've ever heard in my life. I understand, these rich families, maybe the kids don't see their parents enough. They worry about working too much or whatever. I understand that. I understand that completely. But to tell me that nowadays, no matter if you're rich or poor or this or that, you don't know the difference between what's right and what's wrong, that's the biggest cop-out I think I've ever seen in my life. So nowadays, all these young kids are doing whatever they can, try to become Vine famous, trying to become YouTube famous, trying to become whatever famous so they can get this money. And I think one of the reasons is because all these people in society, all these people on the news and everything, are portrayed to be untouchable because they have money. When all these people are going to getting caught with drugs and all this and just paying off everything and not spending a time in jail. Anytime, Lindsay Lohan for one, spending maybe 10 days in jail total at all the stuff she was and going to court for. Nowadays, society, that's why society is the way it is. Because all these people are money hungry and all this and all that, that they're looking for ways, any way possible they can get money. Some people, on the other hand, that are stricken poor and poverty ridden, they rob people. Not that I'm saying that's it's right. I'm not condoning that at all. Don't flip anything that I say here. I don't agree with that at all, but that's a little different between, robbing people for money to live rather than having all this money and doing whatever you want with it and then getting in trouble with all this stuff and being able to pay it off. So nowadays, I think society is just wrong in general with all this stuff. Then money is part of it. How all these huge people that can get away with the world. If you're higher in status, you're untouchable is what it is nowadays, and that's what this whole country is becoming. A bunch of no good people that'll step on anybody and anything to make a buck these days, and it's I don't know. It's very, very annoying to see the news, see anything, read articles and all this, because everything is someone doing something to get higher and whatever. Anybody that can get a leg up on someone else, they'll do it. They'll screw people over. There's no loyalty, there's no respect, there's no nothing anymore in this country. I'm getting a little heated. But coming to a second point is, I guess you can kind of throw it in there, is Vine. I have the app. I don't really do Vines. I'm more of a YouTube presence, if you want to call it that. Well, all these Vines, to tell you the truth, honestly, if you're doing a Vine and you're doing something on your own and doing something stupid on your own, more power to you. If you can do it and you get views, congratulations. Nowadays, I look at all these huge people that are on Vine that have millions of people, millions of viewers. They're all getting views, either one for being a cute little boy or a cute girl that shows no talent, it's just that you have a pretty face. I'm not busting on that. It's just all the people that like the stuff. If you're pretty and flaunt it and do whatever, more power to you. Show it off, whatever. That's another topic in general. I get annoyed with people who go around and just bother other freaking people, do stupid stuff, and bring in other people that are not aware. Now, if people go and tell other people, you know what, I'm going to be doing this, could you please act a certain way? I could be totally wrong, and they could do that. They can go up to other people and just say, listen, I'm going to be doing something stupid, I'm going to be doing, just act. If they do that, then I'm totally wrong. This reaction video or this emotion that I get, I can apologize and say, you know what, I was wrong in that situation, I apologize. But nowadays, you look at these Vines, and you can tell most of the people have no idea it's going on, have no idea what the hell's happening. Honestly, if I never ran into anybody doing these Vines, but if anybody has the innate or wanting to go out and mess with other people, if they ever come up to me and don't tell me about it and do something stupid, I will punch them in the face. That's the kind of person I am. To tell you the truth, I'm not a violent person. I'm not... no way in anything, but I cannot stand stupid people. I cannot stand the people that like to make fun of other people or go up to people and make them feel anything other than welcomed or happy or smiling. If you were going to make a fool out of someone to put it on a camera or make a fool out of someone to get your own kicks, you don't deserve anything. You deserve a punch to the face, and that's exactly what would happen if someone does that to me. That's why I just see a lot of these Vines. You go out and as they're yelling at people or going up to people and calling them, "Oh, Daddy, why aren't you doing this, Dad?" Those Vines honestly get me ticked off, get me pissed off. I just want to look. I just want to find a person and wait for them to do it to me, and then take the phone and shove it in their face. Like, I don't know. It's just very annoying to see how people like this stuff. People like to reshare it and laugh at other people's misfortunes. That's another part of society that is ticks me off, is how people could laugh at other people. You never know what anybody's going through at any given time. My whole thing is give everyone a chance. If 10 minutes later I realize that this person isn't worth my time or whatever, not that I'm going to go and do something to them, but they're not worth my time. Don't ever go up to anybody without knowing anything about them and expect to realize what their life's about or what they're going through or anything. I give everyone a chance, a perfect chance, And then it depends on what they do from there. I understand everybody's got their own story behind it, but it's also the fact where people can't do whatever they want to. Even if they had a bad life, don't go and screw up someone else's life because you had a bad life. That's my whole thing. I guess I'll go into this too with society. Speaking about the beautiful people, that's another thing. If you're not wealthy nowadays, the next best thing you can do or be is good looking, because there's a lot of times good looking people get away with a whole lot of stuff. And I know people are going to say, you know what, you're just jealous, you're not a good looking person. Actually, I happen to be very cute. Anyway, with nowadays, if you're good looking, you can get away with a whole lot more than other people. One being girls nowadays, if they're pulled over by a cop and they look good, 95% of the time they're getting out of a ticket. Meanwhile, if I get pulled over by the cop, unless he likes fat guys or the girl likes fat guys, I'm going to get a ticket. And it's just annoying, and it sends the wrong message to younger kids, to younger. You either have to be beautiful, you have to be rich to get in anywhere in life, and that's honestly what society has portrayed in everything from TV to movies to anything else. Nowadays, kids think that it's because nowadays that's all that goes on. It's either kids are watching TV, on the computer, watching movies, playing video games. It's the only thing they do. Nowadays, media has taken over everything, and in media, the word is if you're rich or beautiful, you can get anything you want in life. And that's totally bullcrap, or totally wrong, totally whatever. I'm heated, so I'm going to take my topic. I don't want to take it to a bad place, but I kind of have to. And this right here is my little tribute to the Ultimate Warrior. I was always grew up a WWE fan, or WWF. I'm going to say I was a WWF fan when it was World Wrestling Federation. This is a tribute. I'm gonna get my tribute out of the way, and then give you my thoughts on the WWE. First of all, Ultimate Warrior was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. I had my favorites. He was definitely up there with the paint, the music, the way he wrestled and everything. He was one of the reasons that got me hooked onto wrestling, and let me tell you, I was hooked. I was the biggest wrestling fan you could think of. I mean, everybody was. All the little kids were. I mean, we had our own little wrestling pact where we'd wrestle on the trampoline, backyard wrestling kind of deal, and it was all trying to live up to all these other people. When I was younger, Ultimate Warrior was one of those people that just got me hooked on it. I mean, back then, I wasn't really paying attention to his interviews. Nowadays, I look at him now and realize the guy had no idea what he was talking about. His interviews just went here, there, and everywhere. It was just all over the place. But when I was younger, just his whole persona was one of those people that you wanted to be like a crazy guy kind of deal. So this is my tribute to him. I say rest in peace. He did die. I think it was Tuesday. Watching him in the Hall of Fame was definitely good. He had deserved it for a while. Then seeing him, actually I didn't see him. I heard about him being on Monday Night Raw, and then on Tuesday I found out that he passed away. So here's my tribute to him. And I just got to put my 2 cents on what's going on in the wrestling world nowadays. I watched WrestleMania. I did, well, not the whole thing. I watched bits and pieces because, to tell you the truth, nowadays wrestling bores me. So the only matches I was honestly interested in was that 30-man over the top rope battle royal kind of deal, and the other match I was definitely interested in was the Undertaker Brock Lesnar match. And to tell you the truth, that whole thing that ended the streak honestly was the stupidest thing I think that the WWE could have done. One of the stupidest things they could have done. I totally understand that the Undertaker's getting old and all this, and it had to end at some point in time. I don't think you should have given it to someone who already has this much stock in the company that everybody knows who he is. Honestly, I think it should have went to someone who is an up and comer. All these people are like, oh, up and comers don't get the hell out of my face. You're going to give it to someone who, one, first of all, doesn't wrestle all the time. He just goes there for a pop here and there. Honestly, to all the little kids and all the newer fans, I guess that's something. But the people who have watched the sport, I watched it ever since I was 5, 6 years old. Now I'm 28, and I've watched it not recently. I haven't watched it total a lot, but I have watched bits and pieces, and it's just nothing like it used to be. Back then, it used to be characters. I used to flock, no, not flock to it, but it had people that, Doink the Clown and Repo Man being maybe not the best for kids, him stealing stuff, but you had Repo Man and Skinner, who was that guy from the Bayou that had the hat, the what do you call it, the tobacco and everything, and the Legion of Doom was some of my favorite tag team, definitely of all time, Legion of Doom. You just had characters. Nowadays you have people, real life people, and it's the way society is too. The certain people always get the push, always get this, always get that, and it's just annoying to see the same people in the same spots. Now they say with the business, it's only the reason why certain people are up top is because you continue to promote them all the time. All this younger talent, all this other stuff, they're going nowhere because you don't do anything with them. You don't push them, you don't promote them, you don't do this, you don't do that. That's in life. If you don't get promoted, if you're trying to do something and there's no one there to help you, promote you, or get the word out, you're never going to go anywhere. Unless you're really good at doing it yourself, it always helps to get someone to give you, not saying spoon feed you the whole way like some people did, but nowadays, like Triple H, I've never been a fan of that guy, and he's been champion 400 freaking times, and it's because he's been spoon fed. Once he loses, within 2 or 3 months, he's going to go for another championship. John Cena the same way, Randy Orton. All these younger talent that have no... Rey Mysterio is one of my favorite wrestlers. Per se, he's so big, and being championship is kind of... Being a champion is far-fetched when you got guys that fucking juice all the time. But you never know. Give them a push. Nowadays, people gravitate towards real. When you get some people that are jacked and all this, you can tell they're fake. Tell me that people aren't doing steroids in the business still, and I'll laugh in your face, because half these people, you can tell just the veins popping out everywhere, and just the size when they go from so big to so big, it's very unbelievable. People like real. So when you see one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, not because he was the greatest, but just because he was your everyday guy. He had a beer belly. He was strong, but he was not that big. He reminded me of me. Back then, if I look at him back then, it kind of reminds me of me now. I guess, if you could follow that. But nowadays, the only people that get the push are these huge guys that they say will look great for the company. Get the hell out of here. You realize that they're all real wrestling fans out there, real people that don't agree with everything you say. They might sell product or sell whatever. That's because that's the only thing you go. I haven't been to a wrestling event forever, but I remember back then you used to have all this promotion stuff for every single kind of wrestler. Every wrestler kind of that was on the roster. Some people have more, of course. Nowadays you just see the same thing getting promoted all the time. So of course they're going to make the money, because if I have nothing else to see or buy, myself, I wouldn't buy anything, to tell you the truth. But if you're bringing these little kids there, you go and you realize, I only have 5 wrestlers here. I'm going to have to buy one of them because I'm buying my kids something when we come here. So, of course, they're making the money because that's the only thing that people see. So, that my rant on WWE is the fact that it's going down in the dumps for all us mega fans, I guess you want to call it, of the WWF. And back then, nowadays it's just a joke. I don't watch it anymore. I don't plan on watching it anymore, and that's one of the main reasons was the end of the streak. It should have went to someone new and upcoming that needed a push, not to someone who's not even in the company that long and already has a huge name. So that was my rant for those three things today. If you have anything to say about anything, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you don't agree. Tell me you do agree. Tell me your thoughts on the matters. Thank you for either, if you made it this far into the video, just for my own purposes. In the comment section, put I made it, just so I know who's watching my whole videos and who deserves shout outs and everything. I'll use it to help everybody out. But if you watch this entire thing, you comment what you want, and then after put I made it, just so I know you watch this whole thing. And yeah, I'll continue to think of different topics to talk about, and I will see you.